You know, this morning as you're watching this video, it is Sunday, and we are pre-recording this. And as you've noticed, a lot of things are different this morning. We're not gathering at the church. We're concerned about everyone's health, trying to be a good neighbor. So just the awkwardness of this whole thing, you'll perceive pretty quickly. As you're in my office this morning, we're recording this on Saturday, getting this ready for Sunday. One of the main concerns that continues to be reminded of is that we cannot be overly worrisome. Certainly there are things to be concerned about, everyone's health, the health of those individuals who's already compromised. And so we don't want to bring danger or harm. So that's why you're watching this morning. Israel had gone through something similar in Isaiah chapter 40. It reached a point when things were starting to build. In verse 27 it says, "Why do you say, O Jacob, and assert, O Israel, my way is hidden from the Lord, and the justice due me escapes the notice of my God? Do you not know? Have you not heard?" It says just what's being described is this: you don't know my condition. You don't know what's taking place. And quickly, just as that thought has passed, as maybe even you've had those thoughts, God, what do you see what's going on? Do you see all the panic? Do you see the chaos that's taking place? And it's often brought to the question of not, hey, look, but God, where are you? And that's why Isaiah continues to write. He says, "Do you not know? Have you not heard? The everlasting God, the Lord, the creator of the ends of the earth, does not become weary or tired. His understanding is inscrutable." And he describes it at that point that simply is, God is aware. He never is weary. He never becomes weary. He's never tired. The things that go on never escape his notice. And what starts to take place, he then compares that to two groups of people. Verse 29, he says, "He gives strength to the weary, and to him who lacks might, he increases power. Though youth grow weary and tired, and vigorous young men stumble badly." And so this is the high point of this passage in verse 31. "Yet those who wait on the Lord will gain new strength. They will mount up with wings like eagles. They will run. They will not grow tired. They will walk and not become weary." And what we're reminded of is the fact that in the midst of all the things that's taking place, that we are continually brought back to that point as believers that we are to trust him, understanding that he is working, understanding that he is aware of all the things that's going around. He's aware of our situation. He's aware of your situation. And as we look to him, as we petition him, his promise is that he will strengthen. That's this idea of wait upon the Lord. It's not just to sit back in our easy chair or secluded in our homes, but it's that while we were at this point, we are actively waiting. Now I understand that may seem contradictory. But what he's describing is the fact that you trust me in doing what only I can do. So certainly he has given us things that we ourselves are to do. He's asked us to continue to pray to him, to continue to reach out to him. As a believer, that is where we gain our strength. That's where we gain our ability to go from this moment to the next, to the next. That's what has brought us to this moment. And so prayer is essential during these days. And now that we are off separated, so many of us, we have the perfect opportunity to spend this time in prayer, to seek him out, to petition him, to ask for his wisdom and strength and direction. But it's not just that we spend our time praying, because even during this time as we pray, there are things we can continue to do. We as a church, as we continue, our expectation is that we will continue to reach out with teachings and education, ideas, and help you grow. as you continue your daily life. And so you'll be seeing more of these. Maybe not as well focused as this, as well presented, but we'll do our best. Also, during this time, as we continue to teach, as we continue to reach out to one another, there are other opportunities that we can do as our groups are meeting in different locations, kind of electronically or through other means to stay connected. You too need to be reminded that to not just isolate yourself in such a way that you're drawn away from the church. Because the church, as we've described it so many times before, is not the building. It's the people. And so you're the church. And so you need to be reminded of that fact and encouraged that as you reach out to one another, whether it's a phone call or gathering a group of people online, or even reaching out to people in a way that would be good for you and good for them, that you continue to do that. We need to be mindful of not only continuing to educate, but we also need to be mindful that is during this time we want to encourage one another. And so some of the things that you'll see coming across our webpage that will be for that. Other places we'll post things, and we'll reach out to individuals. We've already set days to come as a staff and just simply reach out to our church to see how we can pray for them. If there are needs that are present that we haven't heard of and needs that we can meet. And that also brings us to that point that we as a church, as we continue to look to God for strength, as we continue to see Him move, what lays ahead of us is opportunities that we could never have imagined. Opportunities to reach out to individuals who might have been closed to the gospel before. Individuals who are so fearful of all the things that's taking place. And church, we have the answer. We know Christ. And Christ, we understand, strengthens. He is the one who changes. He is the one who is able to bring us beyond this. That's why we see so many times Jesus simply reminds, don't be afraid. It's like when the disciples are there in the boat. The storm has come, has ravaged, and everyone is so fearful of what is taking place. And Jesus is asleep in the head of the boat, and they wake him up and say, don't you care? Don't you know we're going to die? And Jesus looks and with compassion upon him and says, don't you understand? And then suddenly he just speaks a word, and all the storms and everything that they had seen just disappears. And it had done it in such a way and with such drama that the disciples, I can imagine them just looking off into the sea as the waves were filling up the boat, and suddenly they're gone. And seeing the waves disappear, and then suddenly the wind has stopped. And as they're noticing all of that, their eyes turn back to Jesus. And as they look at Jesus, that question remains. Who is this person? That's who we present to Christ, is Christ. That's who we present to a community who is in such need. As we continue the ministry in various ways, which this pandemic has created us an opportunity to reach, but it's also forced us to rethink, what does it mean to do ministry? What does it mean to do and reach and preach and teach? What does it mean to educate and encourage? What does it mean to reach out to individuals who need to hear the gospel? And so this has given us an opportunity to rethink through ministry, how we should move forward even beyond the current situation. Reaching out in a meaningful way. And so that brings us to the point where you're offering, you're giving. We just ask that you continue, because the needs in our community have not ceased. the ministry of the church, of you. We haven't ceased. We'll continue to reach out to those individuals that we can, ministering in all the ways that are necessary. Let me read one last verse. And it's from the next chapter, Isaiah 41, verse 10. It says, "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be anxious. Look about you, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. Surely I will help you. Surely I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." That's the promise he has given us. As we lean to him and trust him, look to him, he will direct our path in these days. Thank you, church. I love you.